Blessings and peace to you. This is Sbfavor Thinking Podcast, and my name is Sbfavor. How are you doing today? It is Sunday, November 27th, 2022. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. That's right. If you focus on what is good, you can project something good to happen, because it does not benefit you at all to focus on the negative things. There's enough things going on in this world, and you can do good to yourself to focus on what is good. That's just as plain and simple as that. Well, I hope everybody is having a good Sunday. And if you are out there traveling about, make sure you are doing your part to stay safe. Wear your mask when you need to. Use your hand sanitizer. Come on. Keep yourself safe and keep your family members safe. And make sure that you are watchful. If you are out there doing a little bit of Christmas shopping, make sure you are paying attention to your environment. And most importantly, make sure you pray. I always remind you of these things because I care. If you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SBFavor. I thank you so much for your support and your donations. And if you would like to contact me via email to find out another way you can give, please contact me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. Well, Jaki Draper is going to join me on this episode, and we are going to discuss, why do people have a hard time expressing love? Well, all of us are so different, but most importantly, we all want to be loved. All of us, we want to be loved. We're created to be loved by God. And so expressing love is something that some people may have a hard time doing for several reasons. I believe that when you love God first and you love yourself, expressing love to others comes very easily. And sometimes people just don't know how to communicate. And that could be a primary reason why they have a hard time expressing love. But expressing love is a freedom. It's an absolute liberty when we can tell someone, I love you. And sometimes you don't actually have to know a person personally to say that you love them, because the love of God will actually help you to just love people. It's just that simple. I mean, God, His grace is sufficient to help us to love and to express love. So that's what me and Jaki Draper are going to discuss. And I hope that this episode is encouraging and insightful. How you doing, Jaki?
Hello, good. How are you?
I'm well. It's Sunday and it's a relaxing day, and but we got work to do. Here we are doing the podcast because this is what we got to do, right? So, but I'm good. I had a good weekend, and today is a relaxing day. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm having a good day. I had a brunch, and I'm having a nice day.
That's good.
I had my cards read, my tarot cards read.
Oh, Lord
today.
Jesus. Oh, Lord God. Oh, help our Lord. Oh, wow. So we're going to talk about, why do people have a hard time expressing love? You know, in the intro, I stated that there could be so many reasons, because all of us are so different. And I think that some people have different traumas that are not healed. Some people have communication problems expressing themselves, especially when it comes to saying I love you. So what do you think about that, Jaki?
Well, I think number one is trauma. Yeah, past trauma. And number two is communication styles.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. One person may say I love you one way, and then another person may say it another way, right?
Right. And then, and you know, like how the whole love language thing. You know about the love languages, the 5 love languages.
Yeah.
And we all interpret love differently.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because that's very, very true. You know, some people express it just by buying gifts Some people express it by being extremely kind, in several ways. But I think, you know what? I think that saying the words "I love you," I think it's power that's released when you say that. I think that, when you express yourself saying that you love someone in other ways, that's fine too. But it's something about saying to someone, "I love you." There's a power in that. Do you believe that?
Oh, 100%. And I believe also in, like a lot of, when we're talking about like with your friendships, somebody will say "love you" without the I.
Yeah.
I never ever say "I love you" without the I.
I don't like that. I don't like it.
Never. Because if I love you, then I love you, and I'm going to own it. I feel like when you say "love you," you're not allowing yourself the vulnerability to own the love.
Oh, wow. But then how about when
you put the I in front of it, I feel like you're owning it. I love you.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't need to hide behind the love you or the love ya. I don't need to hide behind it. If I love you, then I love you. Period.
Well, I'm guilty of that. You know why? Because if I'm rushing, right, and I don't even think about it, and I could just text it real quick, and then when I look back at it, I'll think about it. So yes, I'm in a rush, so I may do that sometimes.
Well, another thing that I don't do is I don't say "I love you too." I don't add the "to" on the back of it.
Wow,
because I feel like words are powerful.
Yeah.
Like how people will say, "Oh, love isn't what you say; it's what you do." It's both.
Yes, it is.
In my opinion.
Yes, it is.
So I always put "I" in front of love, and I never add the "to" at the end.
Well, thank you for saying that.
I think the "to" takes away, and the "I" gives it power.
That's almost equal to "I miss you too," and the person that's saying "I miss you too" don't miss you at all.
Yeah, they don't really miss you. They don't care.
No, they don't miss you. Yeah, but expressing love is a liberty. It's a freedom, because I believe that the more you express it, I believe that something happens to us as individuals when we express it more and when we express it freely. Because sometimes I can tell a total stranger "I love you," and some people get it and then some people don't, because some people that don't get it, they look at you like you're weird, like you don't know me. How can you love me and you don't know me? You know what I mean? So, but little do you know is that when you have the love of God in your heart and in your spirit, you love people. You can love people so easily. It's just simple to love people and to express it when the love of God is in your heart. When you have a prayer life, and just loving God gives you the ability to love people more easily. So that's why I can say that. I don't have an issue saying "I love you" to anyone. It feels good to just say it, and I don't say it just carelessly either. I really, really mean it, because when I tell someone that I love them, I want them to know that they are important to me.
Right.
So, right. But I'm glad you mentioned that, Jackie, because that is so true. To say "I love you too," it takes away, and to say "I love you" owns all of it. I love that. That's perfect. It's 100%
Thank
perfect.
You.
Yeah, because you know what? I think that the more we understand the power of expressing love verbally, I think the more we will experience healing. And the reason why I say that is because, like I said a minute ago, there is a power release when you say "I love you," but to say it at a designated time, it's more meaningful. Somebody today needs to hear that. It could be a family member that you haven't seen, and then all of a sudden you see them. Because people are dealing with things secretly, Jackie. And because this is the holiday season, and this is the time of the year that, they say things happen in the lives of people because their loved ones are no longer present. And this time of the year, we have less sunlight, all of those factors. Depression on the high this time of the year. And so telling someone that you love them or expressing some type of love, it's a freedom. It's a liberty, you know. And I think that for those of us that have a hard time doing it, there's something, it's something that we need to learn. You know, Jackie, you mentioned communication. I mentioned communication as well earlier in the intro. What do you think happens when a person just doesn't know how to say it verbally, Jackie? What I mean, you mentioned trauma, but what else could be the hindrance that they may be experiencing that could stop them from actually having the liberty to say, I love you?
Oh, I think mostly fear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The vulnerability, the fear of being vulnerable, the fear of not being loved in return.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That is true. That's very true. But you know what? When we say, I love you, we say it for us as individuals. You say it because you want the other person to feel it and to experience your love. Yes. But when we say, I love you as individuals, we are saying it also for ourselves, because like I said, it's a liberty, it's a freedom to say I love you. I mean, think about it. We all were and are created to love, right? And so that being said, when you become more of what you are created to be, it becomes more of your liberty, it becomes more of your freedom. So that is why it's so important to express love. That is why it's so important to find a way sometimes to express love. Have you ever considered that, Jackie? Trying to find a way to express love? I have. I think about it all the time. I think about it all the time.
Well, absolutely. I think, though, I think we express love in many different ways with people, but I think a lot of times our when we express it, we're expressing it the way we read it.
Right.
Like the love language thing, where we're, for instance, my mother was a very, her love language was gift givings. I did not know about love languages when my mother was alive.
Wow.
And she was a very, I was living in California, and my mom would she's constantly mailing me stuff.
Right.
Different gifts. I mean, like, all kinds of stuff. Expensive things even, you know, and like, my boyfriend at the time, he's like, God, it's so nice that your mom sends you all this stuff. And I said to him, I would trade every single thing she's ever given me in my whole life just to feel loved.
Oh, wow.
I did not have that relationship with my mother. I did not feel loved.
Wow.
And had I known about love languages while she was alive, I could have had such a different relationship with my mother.
Wow.
I resented gifts. In my whole life, it was been very hard for me to receive gifts from people. And my sister is the same way.
Right.
Because the exchange of gifts were so extremely important to my mother.
Right.
That we as a child, as an adult,
yes,
I rejected gifts because I don't want stuff. I want love. I want to feel loved.
But that was her language, and you didn't know.
That was her language, but I didn't know that. So now, as an adult, I know that it was her trying to say I love you, and when she wanted gifts in return, that was her wanting to feel loved by me.
Wow.
But in my opinion, I just thought my mother was materialistic.
Oh, wow.
And so I rejected materialisticness, or whatever. I mean, not completely, but,
right.
But, you know, to some degree, you know, it caused a problem in our relationship. So I think it is very important to understand how the people you love need to receive love. It's not about you yourself. It's about them.
That's right. Yes. But as individuals, if you're one of those people that hasn't said or don't say often I love you, if you like you just explained, Jackie, you know, listeners could be different people that express themselves differently, right? Like your mom, right?
Right.
And so my thing is this, and I want to say this. If you're one of those people that never say I love you, but you want to express it in another way, it's okay that you express it in that way. But like you just said, Jackie, you needed something else from your mom. You needed her to say, I love you. So that is why, and one of the reasons why we're talking about this topic, because some people, they don't want to say, I love you. They don't want to express it in that way. You know, you as a child growing up, your expectation was a normal expectation, right?
Right.
And to identify that she wasn't saying it at all, but yet doing, going about her expression another way, look what happened. You resented that and you had the wrong perception. And so now you know there's a difference, and it's healthy and fine for us to interpret the love from someone if they are expressing it another way. But we have to remember that saying I love you, communicating it verbally, is highly important, because there is a power that is released when you say something with your mouth, when you speak it out of your mouth. Something happens. And can I explain all the details of what happens when you say it? No, it's too deep. All I know is that when you stir up the courage to say I love you, even if you're not sure if you're loved, when you say I love you to someone, that moment is a liberty and a freedom for you. You know, when you say I love you, healing is released, Jackie. Healing is released when we say, you know, like you just said, to own it. I love that. To own it, all of it, by saying the letter I, right? To say I love you, healing can be released, because for someone that hasn't heard I love you for many, 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 many years, just like what you experienced with your mother, Jackie, somebody else is going through that right now. It might not be with their mother, but I bet you it's somebody right now going through that, where a loved one, family member, friend, or whoever, they never said I love you. They have kindness, they have generosity on all levels in their life, but people are not saying I love you. And so, you know, I wanted to talk about this topic because, like I said, we're living in a season. There's a lot going on in the world, and this season, the holiday season, is the time when people are missing loved ones that have passed on, and you know, depression goes up a little bit during this time of the year. We get less sunlight, and simply telling someone I love you, how you doing today? Oh, I love you. It's simple. When I say it, I feel like I'm singing a song. I say it because it feels good. It feels good. Just when I said that, it felt good, you know? So I don't, like I said, I don't say it carelessly. I do not say it carelessly. When I say it, I feel something from my heart, and my soul is released. And when I say it, it feels good because I feel the love of God, you know? Many years ago, when I worked in an environment where there was a lot of kids, right? And in a high school, and some of the kids, they would come to school and they didn't have parents that loved them, right? And I would look them in their eyes, and I could see that they didn't have that love in their life. And so some days I would tell them, I love you. You having a good day? I love you, you know? And, but to the young boys, they had to be careful because, you know, they want to flirt with an older woman. So I had to be careful. I had to be careful when I said that to them, right? Yeah. So I had to be careful when I said that. But, you know, I would tell them, I love you. So what happened was, once they realized, you know, that's just how she is, you know, they got to know my personality. They're like, oh, you know, that's just her. So, yeah, you know, when I would see kids that had that empty space in their life, I felt the need to say it even more. But like I said, I was careful because I was like, I got to be careful. But there's a lot of people out there that need to hear and know that someone loves them, because there's a power in it. There is power released when we say it. And we are created to love. We were created for love by God. And so to express it, you're not going to lose anything by expressing it. Even when you express it to someone that might not even necessarily deserve it, guess what? You're not losing anything. I heard somebody say one day, they said, Jackie, they said, I better not tell him I love him because he's going to take advantage of me. I heard somebody say that.
Well, then you're loving the wrong people.
Right. There you go. Right there. Right. Exactly.
Find somebody else to love.
That's right. But the thing is this. I would say to someone, if you're married to someone, or if you have relatives that might not always act favorable, you still can tell them that you love them. You still can tell them that, because when you tell them that, by you telling them in that moment, I love you, I want you to be okay, are you okay today? Guess what? You could be the one to change their life. You could be the one to drop a seed of love to help them to be a better person. You can drop that seed of love to help them to heal in a place they didn't even know they needed to be healed. How about that? Right? So if we're all trying to play so tough all the time and we don't want to be vulnerable, then how can we become better? Being vulnerable is not a weakness, Jackie. It is a strength.
I agree with that 100%. 100%. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know what the right word for it. I was going to say liberating, but I'm not sure if that's.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a relief almost that you
It is.
Can be vulnerable and still go on.
It truly is, because
you kind of hold that fear so tightly that for fear of what's going to happen, and then I don't know, on the other side of it, there's freedom on the other side.
It is, because being vulnerable, I see it as a place of peace, a place of rest. It's almost like the person that's vulnerable, they are absolutely 100% comfortable with themselves. Because it's not about the perception of other people. It's about, am I comfortable with me being me, all of me? Am I comfortable with being the transparent me? Am I comfortable with giving myself to whoever's in my company, right? Being all of me. That's what vulnerability is.
Also, you can expose yourself, be vulnerable, and then it doesn't work out in your favor, and it can totally knock you on your ass. But no, I'm being serious though.
Yeah. I'm listening.
But whenever you get back up, it's like, okay, I lived through that. I'm fine. And maybe now and the next time it won't be so hard.
Yeah, but vulnerability it's a place of allowing yourself to feel what you feel, think what you think, and know the difference. Because when you know who you are, you will understand that your vulnerability is only a part of your humanity. Right? But that other part of you that is strong and resilient, that part exists too, right? So you're not so vulnerable to the point you're just no good. That's why I said you got to know who you are, because it's a strength. Because everything that we appropriate, we're supposed to appropriate it with a balance, right? So,
but it also has to do with your view of yourself, like you were saying. But you have to be able to disconnect from the view of the outside world.
Yeah.
In order to be vulnerable, you have to be able to disconnect from other people's view of you.
Absolutely. That's right. You can't.
And that's the part that knocks us on our ass, is that, the rest of the world, and, learning that space between their opinion and my opinion.
Right.
And my truth. Not my opinion, but my truth.
Yeah, it's a freedom. It's a freedom to be you.
Right. Exactly.
Without restraint, because you love yourself, because you're comfortable with you being who you are.
Right.
And that liberty and that freedom, it has to do with self-love, which ties into everything that we're talking about, which is expressing love. People that don't communicate well, or they don't express themselves well, I look at those type of people as if they are stuck somewhere, because think about it like this. A pipe with running water has a full stream of water coming through all the time, right? It's just flowing. A reservoir of water just flowing fresh all the time. There's a release going on all the time. So it's refreshed all the time. But someone that doesn't speak up, someone that doesn't express themselves, someone that keeps everything inside, someone that does not, with liberty, converse with others with the freedom to release what they have to say, guess what? They're stuck. And when you think of a pipe that's stuck, there's no reservoir. There's no flushing. There's no stream. There's no recycling of being refreshed. That's why it's so important for us to express ourselves respectfully. That is why it's so important to develop communication skills, because we are in a position where we have to constantly release. Come on, if you don't go to the bathroom, then what happens? I just had to say it like that. That's right. That's right. Okay, so think about a person that doesn't communicate at all. They don't express themselves. They keep everything inside. That's not healthy. It's not healthy.
I agree.
So that is why it's so important for us to express love, to express ourselves. And when you think about something pertaining to the word hard, because the topic of this episode is, why do people have a hard time expressing love? So when you think about that word hard, you think about something that is not soft. You think about something that is not flowing. And so that is why it's so important for us to express ourselves. We can operate in an absolute freedom, in an absolute liberty, when we learn how to express ourselves, to love others. If you don't know how to do it, learn. Take one day at a time and learn how to express yourself. And like Jackie said, own it by saying, I love you. That was so good, Jackie. Own it by saying I love you, because when you say I love you, you're releasing power. When you say I love you, you're releasing healing, because all of us were created to love, and by the grace of God, He has given us the ability to love. There's no excuse. We just have to communicate it. And during this season, if we say it, if we show it, we will help somebody. So don't miss the opportunity.
So if it doesn't, I'm sure for many people, it doesn't come naturally.
No.
To say I love you. So you have to force yourself to say it. And the more you force yourself to do something, the more naturally it comes to you.
It comes natural, and just you will feel it. Yes, and you will feel it. You will feel it. I'm telling you. You will feel it. Trust what I'm saying. When you see your loved ones, the ones that don't deserve it, that's where the real power is released, Jackie. The ones that don't deserve it. The ones that act crazy. You just turn around and say, you know what? I love you. It's okay. You act crazy, but I love you. They'll be like, wow, she really loved me. And they will feel it.
Or they're going to think you're being a smart ass.
Oh, they may think that, but you know what? They may think that, but guess what?
But say it, yeah.
In the moment when
Yeah.
they're alone, they'll think about it. Trust
Yeah.
and believe.
Right.
We all have moments when we are alone and when we are thinking about the things that really matter. It's those times when it's just you and God by yourself. Even in those times when you're by yourself, God will remind you. Remember she said that she loved you? Yes. So, but we're going to wrap it up, Jackie. And this is a good topic. I want to talk about it a little bit more because I just believe that we're in a season where we can just do more and express ourselves and not miss the opportunity to love, because we all were and are created to love. So that's what it's all about. We got to express it. It's important. You know, I'm glad you shared your personal story, Jackie. And I hope that it helps somebody to understand that if they have somebody in their life like that, they can identify the love and not go through what you went through. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have anything else you want to share, Jackie?
No, I think that was good.
All right. Well, I thank you so much for taking the time to listen to Sbfavor Thinking. Listeners, please share the podcast with others. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Sbfavor. I thank you so much for supporting this podcast and leaving feedback. You can leave me feedback wherever you listen to the podcast. And also subscribe to me wherever you listen to podcast. You can also find me on YouTube. Make sure you click like, leave me some feedback there. And once again, share the podcast with others. Thank you so much for listening. And enjoy your holiday time. And make sure you are paying attention to your environment if you're out there shopping. I mentioned that earlier, Jackie, because, you know, we gotta, you know, walk in peace and safety. What you say?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to remind the listeners of that, to be safe. Be safe out there. And so once again, share the podcast with others. And thank you so much for listening. And you have a good day.